Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Health and Hormones Drop Talk. My name is Olivia Sykes, and I have been a brand partner with Partner Co. for about 8 months now. And honestly, it has become my passion to share information with people that I believe can be completely life-changing. So that is the reason for me recording this video today to get out to you guys. So we're going to get right to it because I've got a lot to say and I'm trying to do it in the shortest amount of time as I can, which is really hard for me because I could literally talk for hours. So I'm going to share my screen for you guys and we're going to get started. All right. So, why you need these drops? Someone has invited you to watch this video for a reason. And I want to make sure that I can get this information across to you as clearly as possible, but hang on because I'm going to talk fast and I'm going to say a lot. So you may want to get a pad and a pen out to take some notes. You may need to watch this twice. I don't know, but I hope that by the end of this video, you've gotten some great nuggets. So I want to say that this program is only for educational purposes. I'm not giving medical advice. I am not treating or diagnosing any kind of medical condition. Any results that I share about the drops are simply results that I have either experienced personally or that I know someone personally, and this is their results. So, do any of these symptoms here describe you? Mood swings, low libido, headaches, night sweats, food cravings, hot flashes, acne, insomnia, tiredness and fatigue, and weight gain. I think if we were all honest, we would raise our hands here and say, yes, this is me. And if this is the case, which I know that it is, then you are suffering from hormone imbalance. Now, enter the drops. This is the star of the show, these two bottles right here. And what you see on your screen is a little bit of information about each of these bottles. When you purchase a box of drops, you get these two bottles in that one box. This box will last you 28 days. So we say it's about a month's supply. But bottle one, you're going to put under the tongue 3 times a day. It's going to help curb your appetite. It's going to help curb your cravings. And it's also going to help support your thyroid, which is the organ in your body that runs your metabolism. Very, very important because we all probably could say that as we age, we can definitely tell our metabolism is dropping. There's some other things that are going on in bottle one, but that's the main idea. In bottle two, our Accelerate, this is what we call our feel-good bottle. It's got the methylated form of B12 in it, this is important, guys, because for years, my doctor gave me B12 injections to help combat the fatigue that I had from my Hashimoto's hypothyroid issue. And honestly, when I take a good look looking back, I think I was hoping that the B12 injections I was getting were helping, but honestly, they really weren't because when I compare how I felt after those injections versus using these drops, there's almost no comparison. These drops have helped me incredibly with having more energy. And it truly is because we have the methylated form. And when you're getting those injections from your doctor, it is not a true form of B12. It is a synthetic called cyanocobalamin. I may not be saying that right for any medical professionals out there that happen to see this. I'm hoping I'm close. But that cyano part of that name means it's derived from cyanide, which is a poison. It's toxic to our bodies. Why are we putting this in our bodies? I don't know, guys. But all I know is I'm not putting that in my body anymore because I have Accelerate for that. So, in addition to the B12 that's in the drops, it's going to help you have more energy. There's also biotin in there. Biotin, most people just think it's for your hair and nails, but it has more use than that. It actually works to help the body metabolize fats, carbohydrates, and proteins and it helps to stimulate your metabolism. So who knew? We learned something new today, right? But even more exciting than that, there's ashwagandha and rhodiola in bottle 2. Ashwagandha is known as the mood food. This helps you have that overall sense of well-being, helps you be in a better mood, in a better happy place, so to speak. And then the rhodiola goes to work helping to pull down those cortisol levels in your body. Cortisol is the stress hormone, which also is a storage hormone. And we're going to get to more of that in just a minute. So really quick, I just want to share a couple of these before and afters. This is my mom. She's 72 years young, and she's been on the drops since the 1st of February, and she didn't even try these drops for weight loss. She used to be even bigger than this and had lost a lot of weight several years ago during doing Sugar Busters. But of course has fluctuated, going up, coming down, going up, coming down, like we all tend to do ever since. But she had severe arthritis, erosive osteoarthritis, something like that. All I know, y'all, is it was extremely painful. She also has spinal stenosis. She's got degenerative disc disease and has had 6 back surgeries due to ruptured discs in her spine. So my mom is very familiar with pain and everything that comes with it. And as you can see in this picture on the left, she was very inflamed. She had lots of inflammation still in her body. You look at her on the right, and this is very recent, just from last week. She has lost all of that inflammation, especially around the face. You can really see the difference there. And in her arms, her legs, everywhere. I mean, everywhere, her whole entire body. And not only, though, has it helped with her inflammation, but her arthritis pain is gone. And all the meds that she was taking for her arthritis and for pain, she's no longer on those either. So I celebrate these drops for my mom, and honestly, they've been life-changing for her. This is me. This is yours truly. The picture there in the orange shirt, that was when I first started the drops. I was miserable. I felt absolutely terrible. Getting out of bed every day was a struggle. Getting through the day was a real struggle. As you can see, I had a lot of excess weight and a lot of inflammation. My sugar cravings were out of control. I had to have sugar every day with every single meal. This is a picture of me more recent. And actually, I've lost a couple more pounds since this picture was taken on the right. But you can see I look totally different. My body shape looks totally different. I am in such a better place health-wise as well as weight-wise. But I have no more joint pain. That inflammation is gone. I don't crave sugar anymore, guys. It's a miracle, really and truly. And I simply feel fabulous. I can't honestly even remember feeling this good in my 20s, if I'm being perfectly honest with you guys. So I have thoroughly enjoyed taking these drops and experiencing my own results. This here is Dr. Crystal Vance. I like to highlight her because she is a part of our company. She's on our wellness council, but she had her own transformation. And I will say, for full disclosure, while she did lose 162 pounds, she lost 80 of it just through diet and exercise. But she came to a place at the end of that 80-pound mark, and she could not go any further, no matter what she tried. She just thought that was all her body could do. And then a friend introduced her to the drops, and she lost another 82 pounds after starting using the drops. So this might describe you. Maybe you've already been on your own health journey. You've lost some weight, but you can't really seem to lose any more. I would challenge you to give the drops a try. You just don't know. You might end up with some incredible results like Dr. Crystal here. Okay, so we're going to dial it all back a little bit, and I'm going to do a little explaining of behind the scenes, what's happening in the body, why these drops are helping your body. High blood sugar is a huge culprit behind just about every chronic illness that we experience in the body. Heart disease, kidney disease, Metabolic syndrome is a big deal. If you have at least 3 of any of those listed in parentheses out beside metabolic syndrome, that you would be classified as having metabolic syndrome or metabolic dysfunction. Basically, in a nutshell, y'all, this just means your body is not functioning like it should be. There's some issues. There's some things happening that are messing the body up. But also, what a lot of people don't realize, high blood sugar causes low testosterone. For a man, when he has low testosterone, it also can lead to ED. These are a big deal to people. It is life altering. And low testosterone is affecting younger and younger men nowadays because of our diet. And I'm going to get to all that here shortly, but I just want to highlight a couple of these. PCOS in women. I saw a statistic the other day that said as many as 26% of our American women are diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. This PCOS can cause women to become infertile. It's also very painful and comes with a whole host of symptoms that are just not fun to deal with and can be debilitating. And it all is linked back to high blood sugar. Of course, heart disease, kidney disease, and I want to really highlight number 6 there, cognitive decline, Alzheimer's and dementia. Alzheimer's is now being called by some doctors and scientists type 3 diabetes because of the link between high blood sugar and that cognitive decline. What this means is that if we can change our diet, if we can change our lifestyle and get our blood sugar down, we can prevent Alzheimer's and dementia. So I hope that this gives you some hope as you hear some of the things that I'm talking about. So before we ever get to pre-diabetes, you got to start somewhere else, right? You didn't just wake up one day and you're a diabetic. No. You actually have a lot of Americans, most Americans are what we call insulin resistant. But insulin resistance, honestly, is another word for pre-diabetes. Now, your doctor is going to declare you pre-diabetic once your sugar numbers, your A1C, all of these things, and several other factors have gotten to a certain level. But what I want you to understand is there's actually 4 stages to insulin resistance. Stage 1 and stage 2 are not really talked about. Your doctor's not ever really going to bring that up. But what it means is you are in the beginnings of the diabetic cycle here, per se, if you want to call it that. You'll see in that yellow box, stage 1 and stage 2. What that means is you're going to be exhibiting some of these symptoms in the pink box below it. You may start to have that central obesity. You're gaining weight in the midsection. And not necessarily other places, mostly in that midsection. Your blood pressure is running a little higher. You've got that bad cholesterol ratio where your good cholesterol is low, but your bad cholesterol is high. You have elevated triglycerides. Triglycerides means the fat in your blood. And some people would think this means, well, I just eat too much fat. I need to cut fat out of my diet. That's actually not what it means. High blood sugar is what causes elevated triglycerides. Obviously, your blood sugar is elevated. And then, of course, these are 2 things that most markers, they don't realize it, but obstructive sleep apnea and PCOS are symptoms of insulin resistance. So if you use a CPAP machine, guess what? You are in some stage of insulin resistance. Here's some statistics, and I got these statistics from Dr. Ray Strand, our Chief Medical Officer here at Partner Co., from a presentation that he did. So I'm just going to, full disclosure, I took these stats straight from him. And it says 30% of all adults in US and Canada have prediabetes or diabetes. I actually went and I looked up a couple of statistics of my own before I got on this video today, because I wanted to be well educated and have the right things. And I found a statistic that said in the 1970s, only about 2 to 3%, because it varied. It was about 2% in women, about 2.7% in men had diabetes in the 70s. But today, almost 12% of Americans, that's combined with men and women, have diabetes. That is a dramatic increase. You may think, well, it's just 2 to 12%. We're talking about millions of people. Our population has grown since the 70s. So when we talk about 12% of our population now having diabetes, this is almost 40 million Americans. And that's just the ones with diabetes. We're not even talking about the ones with pre-diabetes. So in addition to the first statistic, an additional 30% of adults are in the early stages of developing pre-diabetes. So what does that mean? That means they're in stage 1 or stage 2 of insulin resistance. This is over half the country that is in the stages of insulin resistance. I don't know about you, but that scares me to death. This is a large swath of our population that is suffering from this. And the good news is, though, it can be turned around, okay? So what is insulin? We're talking about insulin resistance. What does that even mean? Insulin is a hormone in the body that controls the blood sugar, and it does this by transporting the glucose from the bloodstream first into the cells for energy. Then, once the cells have had their fill, then the rest will be split between your liver and your muscles, and then the majority of it ends up being stored as fat. And it is stored as fat in that midsection. But what's even worse about this is that when the insulin stores that extra glucose as fat, it also releases another hormone that blocks the release of that fat. So that fat is in high security, maximum, whatever you call it, prison. It's not going anywhere. This is why we see people trying to diet and exercise, and maybe they are losing some, but they're not managing to lose it in the middle, which is where they're wanting to lose it, right? The reason for this is because of that insulin resistance. So how does insulin resistance develop? This happens over many years. You do not wake up one day and all of a sudden your body is insulin resistant. Our diet, what we have been eating for years and years, is what is contributing to us becoming insulin resistant. The more we spike our blood sugar with what we eat, the more our body has to inject insulin into our bloodstream to control that blood sugar. And so over time, we become less and less sensitive to this insulin, because when we are constantly eating things that are spiking our blood sugar, our body is constantly having to push that insulin out, and it's storing more and more and more stuff as fat. And so as this is happening, as our body is becoming less sensitive to our own insulin, the body has to compensate for this because it cannot have all this glucose floating around in our blood. It's too much for the body. And so the body ends up creating more insulin to inject, and we are flooded with this storage hormone that's storing everything as fat, storing all that glucose as fat. So this is why it's such a big deal. I'm fixing to show you how this works. So I'm going to use breakfast as our example here because this is the example that we all can most relate to. What you're going to see here on the screen, that black dotted line, that's your fasting baseline blood sugar. If you took your blood sugar when you first woke up in the morning, this would be what that number would be. Okay, this is our baseline for the day. That red line is going to illustrate what eating a high glycemic meal does to the body. So notice, let's say we ate pancakes, because most of our breakfast food is sugary, right? It's pure carbs. Pancakes, waffles, muffins, cereals, bagels, waffles. What am I missing? Muffins, all kinds of things, all kinds of carbs and sugar, right? So you eat that and immediately your blood sugar is spiked. See how quickly that red line rises? But notice, as quickly as it rises, it drops just as fast. That's because at the top of that peak, that's where that insulin is hitting the bloodstream, and it's grabbing all of that glucose and pulling it out of the bloodstream. So it's doing this remarkably well, but notice what's happening, okay? When you're insulin resistant, what's happening is, because the body is having to push so much insulin because your body has become less sensitive to it, it's pulling your blood sugar down way more than it needs to go. So look what happens. It drops below that baseline. Once your blood sugar drops below that baseline, you are now what we call hypoglycemic, meaning your blood sugar is too low. And bad things can happen to the body when the blood sugar is low. Glucose is not bad. Our body needs glucose to function. Glucose is what powers the mitochondria in our cells. Okay. But when it gets too low, it sends a signal to the body. The body cannot function without that glucose. So now the body becomes stressed. And what is happening is now your body is alerted and cortisol is released into your bloodstream. Now, cortisol is a stress hormone, but it is also a storage hormone, just like insulin. And so, what its job is to do is to take excess calories, excess the sugar in the blood too, and store it as fat. This is a problem, right? Now we have two things that are flooding our bloodstream that are storing things as fat. So you can see now we're getting hit with a double whammy. But when we become hypoglycemic like that, we might become shaky. You might become sweaty, feel faint, like you're going to pass out. This is a physiological response, and what it triggers is hyperphagia, meaning your body has to eat. You feel this overwhelming need to eat something. And what our brain usually is triggering us to eat is something sugary. Why? Because our sugar is too low and we need to bring our sugar back up. So what do? We reach for a candy bar, some kind of candy, a Coke maybe, something that is high in sugar that will bring that sugar back up rapidly. But guess what happens? Yes, our blood sugar spikes again. So insulin is being sent out again, and now it's dropping again. And the cycle continues over and over and over all day long. And this is why we are becoming insulin resistant. But I want you to see if we can turn this ship around and we can start eating low glycemic meals. Look at that dotted green line. It reminds me of an ocean wave. So it rises a little because eating is going to trigger that glucose release in the blood, but it falls just as gently as it rose, right? And it never drops below that baseline. So you never really become hypoglycemic, right? That's the goal here. And that is what I'm going to show you in just a second. So this is just a quick reference for you. Glucose has an index of 100. I consider this like the ceiling, okay? Because glucose, I need you to understand 100 is a lot. A baked potato is 85. Cornflakes, 84. Oh my gosh. How many of you just ate plain cornflakes? No. You put sugar on that. Don't even lie. I know I did. And then when they came out with Frosted Flakes, that was even better because then I didn't have to add any extra sugar. The sugar was already on the cornflakes. Bread has an index of 70, table sugar 61. Then peaches, cherries, and black beans are in the 20s. What I want you to see here, this glycemic index chart says that anything below 55 is considered low glycemic. But I want you to know that on PartnerCo's plan, even anything at 55 or between probably 55 and 25 is still a little more than what we want you to be having, because that's still going to give you a blood sugar spike, just not as bad as if you were eating something higher than 55. But I'm giving you this as a reference. And I want to make one quick comment here, something I don't have listed, but it is an additive that it is in almost everything packaged and processed. It's called maltodextrin. Look it up, read the labels next time you go to the grocery store. It is in everything, from seasoning packets like taco and ranch seasoning to Pop-Tarts, packaged muffins, packaged cookies. Look for it. You will find it. It is even in pre-cooked chicken packages that you can buy in the deli section. So always, always check your labels. And here's why, because maltodextrin, its glycemic index is over 100. Yes, over 100. So you might buy something in a package that says it's sugar-free, but guess what? It's not if it has maltodextrin, because that maltodextrin is a hidden sugar and it is going to spike your blood sugar worse than glucose would. So it's important. If we know better, we can do better. Real quick, this is the handy dandy food pyramid that we've all been taught as we've grown up. that this is how we should eat in order to get a nutritious and balanced diet. But this is all wrong. Look at what they say here. The foundation of our diet should come from bread, cereal, rice, and pasta. But what I just showed you on that index page there was that those are the very things that are causing our blood sugar to spike. So that's not at all what the foundation of our diet needs to be. What the foundation of our diet should be is meats and fruits and vegetables. These are the things our bodies need protein. We need lots of protein. Our bodies need fruits and vegetables because we need the nutrition that is in those foods. What our body does not need is milk, yogurt, and cheese. And this is going to hurt your feelings, but y'all, I'm serious. It is a marketing tactic from the food industry to make us think, and they've done a very fantastic job of this, to make us think that we must have dairy in our diet in order to get vitamin D and calcium. But this is simply not true. You can get vitamin D by going outside in the sunlight. You can get calcium from green leafy vegetables. You do not have to have milk, yogurt, and cheese. And here is another reason why. Dairy products are probably some of the most inflammatory products that you can put in your body, because dairy in America is full of antibiotics, steroids, and hormones that they have had to give these cows, because these cows are in industrial facilities that never see the light of day. They never get to graze in a pasture. And so that milk is tainted, and anything made from that milk is tainted with those things. And our bodies were never meant to process that. Same thing with the breads, the rice, and the pastas. Not only should you not eat them because they are spiking our blood sugar, but wheat in America was genetically modified decades ago. And when they did that, they removed the fiber from the wheat, which is an integral part of the wheat. We all need fiber, okay? And fiber helps combat our body digesting those carbs as sugars. But also, they made the wheat where now it contains almost 22 times the gluten that it did before it was ever genetically modified. And our bodies are not made to process all that gluten. It's just not. This is why we have so many people with gluten sensitivity and gluten allergies nowadays. But another thing that's really hurting us is seed oils. These are oils like canola, vegetable, safflower, sunflower, soybean. All those types of oils are not good oils. I agree with this pyramid that they should be used sparingly, but I would even venture to say they should never be used. Those seed oils were put into our American diet by individuals who were coming up with different products, oil products that could be used in the oil and gas industry and for like engine lubricant and that type of thing. And those seed oils are a byproduct that basically amounts to engine lubricant. And it's highly inflammatory in the body. And these oils should never, never be in our body. They are super, super high in omega-6s, and our bodies, that's very inflammatory. We need the omega-3s, which are found in oils like olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. So we don't need those omega-6s. All right, the food list. This is the list that comes with our drops, and it is very integral to you using the drops. The drops are targeting your insulin, cortisol, and thyroid hormones, okay? Those three hormones are directly affected by what you eat. So this is not a diet. This is not keto diet. This is not carnivore diet. This is not paleo or Mediterranean diet. This is actually eating how you should eat to nourish your body and nourish your cells. So you will see here on this list, we have it broken down into proteins, vegetables, even sea vegetables, condiments, fruits, herbs, spices, healthy fats, and sweeteners. Now, I want to say The reason why diets don't work, and I want you to look at this as a lifestyle change, is because diets are just a short-term solution to a long-term problem. We all have enough willpower to do a diet for a time, but we can never sustain it, right? And diets do not address the root issue, which is the insulin resistance. But just as much as I'm talking about eating a good diet, I really want to highlight a couple of things here. Healthy fats are super, super, super important. Your body needs fat to function. Your brain needs fats to function. Your hormones need fats to be made. For hormones to be made, good fats are necessary. These good fats, good carbs, good proteins, that is what is on this list. So there's even a box down there that tells you the things to avoid. We spell this out as clearly as we can. So if you follow this list in a nutshell is just a low glycemic food list, and they have removed also the inflammatory foods that would cause inflammation in the body, because the drops, they're targeting that insulin, cortisol, and thyroid, and what you eat can affect those hormones. They took out the dairy because it's inflammatory. They took out the seed oils because they're inflammatory. If you do not see a food on this list, there is a reason why it's not on this list. So stick to this food list, take your drops, and I can promise you will see results. But you've got to do your part. That's very important. So to wrap it up, Partner Co., our Slenderize program, which is the drops program, is all about that healthy lifestyle. It is not a diet. All right. The pinnacle of this is using the drops, because the drops are going to be the tool that helps you work yourself into that healthy lifestyle. You do not have to do this alone either. Whoever you purchase your drops from, they're going to become your accountability partner of sorts. And all of us fellow droppers are truly like a family. We are like a little community of droppers, and we are all here for each other to encourage each other, because this journey, it is a process. This is not going to happen overnight, guys, okay? And I want you to understand that. But so we take our drops. We want to try and eat healthy foods that do not spike our blood sugar. And we want to make sure we're getting adequate water intake. One of the things that the drops do also is they promote a detox of the liver and the cells. So it's really, really important that you're drinking a lot of water to keep your body flushed out. Moderate exercise is important also, because it's good to move the body. We need to engage those muscles. And no, you don't have to join a gym and go do some high intensity aerobic workout. You can just go take a walk. If your life is super busy and hectic, maybe you have a desk job that you sit at a desk a lot. Just take some time out of the day, 5 minutes here and there, maybe a couple of times a day. Go take a couple of laps around the inside of your office building. Go up and down the hallway a few times. Just get some movement in. I'm not talking about anything major, but move your body. And then last and not least is nutritional supplementation. Because even eating food on the food list, and even buying organic fruits and vegetables, and even, organic meats, unfortunately in America, because the soil is so depleted, our food does not contain the nutrition that it once did. And so our bodies, our cells still need a certain level of nutrition to function adequately and efficiently. And so sometimes it's going to require that we supplement nutritionally to help our bodies along on that process. And so we have some amazing products that are great for nutritional supplementation. I'm not going to go into all the things specifically. I have a few stats up here. This is a picture of Dr. Ray Strand, our Chief Medical Officer. He has written some amazing books that really will just blow your mind. But I want you to know that all of our products, and we have over 100, they are tested, they are proven, they are guaranteed. We have over 200 published clinical studies on our products. Over 1,000 quality tests have been performed on our products. We have a wellness council. We have an athletics council. We have a research and development team. We have a scientific advisory board. We have physicians all over the globe who endorse our products because they use them in their own practices on their own patients and have had amazing results. So at the bottom left, you're going to see three things listed there: Noni, Moa, and Limu. All three of these are what we call superfood nutritional supplements. They are juices. They're something you drink. You can't necessarily overdose on them, but they are just good, all natural ingredients that are going to help with overall health and wellness, help supplement that nutrition that our body needs, and also help with healing, with inflammation, other things going on in the body. If you want some more information on that, reach out to the person who invited you to this video, and they can hook you up with all that information. In this other picture, you're going to see some of our products. Of course, the drops there. Pure Nourish, this is our protein powder. I cannot say enough about this. It is excellent as a meal replacement option. If you are struggling with being busy, getting your protein in a day, trying to figure out what you're going to eat for breakfast, I personally use the Pure Nourish every day. We also have a great detox product called Restorix that you can add to your regimen every now and again. That's not something that needs to be used every day, all year long, but you can use it periodically to detox. We have the Optimals, Optimal V, Optimal M. This is just your vitamins and minerals, okay? And these are called Optimals because they are the optimal doses. These are what we would call clinical doses, which is higher than recommended daily allowance, which is on most vitamin and supplement packages. We've also got Venali, which is an amazing product. Do you remember Dr. Crystal that I showed you at the beginning of this video? She superdosed with Venali, and she did not have to have any skin removal surgery after losing her 162 pounds. And I'm not saying that this was completely related to Venali, but I believe that it definitely has helped. I've personally been using the Venali for several months, and it has definitely helped tighten my skin up. It's a high-powered vitamin C supplement, and vitamin C is a precursor to collagen. So that's the connection there. And then there's MagnaCal D, which is also just a great supplement, especially for women. It's magnesium, calcium, vitamin D, plus some other good things in it, because most women are magnesium and vitamin D deficient. So this is excellent. One last product I want to highlight, and then we are done. Renew. This is a product an anti-aging type product that is all about cellular regeneration. And how it works is it is a all natural product made from whole foods and all natural ingredients that boost your body naturally to produce more human growth hormone. Human growth hormone peaks in our bodies in our 20s and then rapidly declines with every decade as we age, which you can see there on that chart. And this is that piece of the puzzle that makes us feel like our body is falling apart as we get older, right? And it's just because that human growth hormone is keeping everything young and rejuvenated. And so as our body stops making it, which is natural, that's when we start to lose that good feeling of our youth, right? But you can use this Renew product over time. It's going to take some time. It's not something that you're going to see immediate results from. But if you add this to your regimen, especially adding it to the drops, it is going to help reduce body fat and increase lean muscle mass, which is why it works so well with the drops. But it's also going to increase libido, which that's a big deal for some people. It's going to help you have more youthful looking skin and hair, improve your mood and energy, but also improve that cellular regeneration. Because I don't know if you've heard it, but the theme here is all about health and cellular health in particular, because everything in our body starts in our cells. So also there's ingredients in the Renew that's going to help you get a deeper, more restorative sleep, because that traditionally is when the body produces the most HGH. So it's a wonderful product. I have been using it for months, and I can tell a huge difference in my own body. So I would just tell you, and if you get a membership with us, and ask the person who invited you, there is a stellar deal if you get the drops and the Renew together. It's a fantastic savings. So ask the person who invited you here tonight. Last and not least, I'm just wrapping this up with what your options are. So if you love what you've heard tonight and you want to give these drops a try, you can purchase these drops from the person who invited you for $150 a month. And that's all you have to do. If you just want to be a buying customer, that is okay with us. And we are here for you. But if you are interested in saving some money, maybe you want to purchase some other products that you saw here tonight also, along with the drops, I would definitely recommend you get a membership. It's a $29.95 one-time fee. Today is August 29th, and tomorrow, August 30th, we have a promotion that we've had going on, and it ends tomorrow. But today and tomorrow, you can get that $29.95 fee waived, which means you can get a free membership, and you will unlock a 30% discount off of retail on all of our products. Plus, this allows you to buy in bulk, which is going to save you even more, even beyond that 30% discount. It's a tremendous, tremendous opportunity. And of course, if all of this sounds right up your alley and you would love to share this with your friends and your family, then you can earn extra money by using your social media, just like we do, just like what attracted you to us, to promote these drops, promote these products, and you can make some extra income on the side. So get with the person who invited you here tonight. They will be glad to give you all the details. And I am so thankful that you have hung in here with me for this. I hope that you are blessed, and I hope that I get to meet you in person really, really soon. Thank you, guys.